I was in a different world.
All right, guys, you made it to the last session, which is starting right now. Thanks for going with me on the adjustment today. I thought it was important to give enough time to look at alive things under microscope so that you would know what it was going to be like when we do the 3-day soil microbiology course here, right? Microscopy. Okay.
Looking at creepy crawlers.
I think my favorite moment then was like, remember when they had the 3D glasses when we were kids and you'd see things and everybody went, oh, when we saw our first moving thing. It was like
seeing that bear was freaking cool.
Yeah, that bear was cool. So.
My first 3D movie was The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock at Universal Studios. That was
that bear thing.
So we made it to the end of the workshop. But it's not really the end, Jack, but you're talking over me talking, so you have to shut the fuck up. I'm going to take your drink away. I'm starting. We started. We made it to the end of the workshop. This is the last session. This is the one position nobody ever wants to present in. Because by now, does anybody feel, am I sleepy right now or tired? And you've absorbed a bunch. This is the perfect time when your resistance is down to have a brainstorming session, right? Who does my 3 things right now? Why do you do it?
Because it helps me get shit done.
Why does it help you get shit done?
Because I have 3 specific things to focus on in that mill.
Okay. Why do you do it, Margo?
Keeps me focused on tasks that need to be accomplished.
Keeps me accountable.
Keeps you accountable. How is accountability built in?
Because I go back and review the list at the end of the day and make sure that I complete it. And if I don't, then I throat punch myself and go get it done.
The throat punching part needs to go in the book. Okay. That's a direct book. Where do you post your list?
I post it on Telegram, LFTN.
He posts his list every day on Telegram to help keep himself accountable. And sometimes when we make a public statement about things, we keep ourselves accountable. There's a bigger part of my 3 things. If you've come to my 3 things by joining the network and starting to post 3 things you're going to get done every day and getting them done, that's really cool. But Tori, yeah, you.
Yes, Nicole.
Tori, who would probably be the first certified My 3 Things coach if we were to launch that, and Margot's not far behind. She has a gift. What is at the foundation and the most important part of My 3 Things once you really dig into it, would you say? What's the thing that makes it stay going the direction you want to go?
You mean the hardest thing to figure out?
The hardest thing to figure out, yeah.
Your purpose statement.
Your purpose statement. So when Jack was talking about, what was it, moving towards the North Star goal, that is not different than what we're doing with My 3 Things when you're moving towards your vision and your purpose. And we have people talking back and forth and back and forth and back and forth about that, right? Well, how do we figure out what that is for individual us's? I should have asked that in the singular tense. How do you figure that out for yourself?
SWOT analysis?
I mean, that will help. That can help.
All the things.
If you're building your life purpose and vision, do you want it to make you happy or sad?
Happy.
Do you want to be shitty at it or good at it?
Good.
Damn good at it.
Yeah. So then sometimes we try lots of things, right? And sometimes we discover some of those things are not good fits. And sometimes we need to rely on what outer influences tell us we should be doing or have observed that we're good at or seem well suited to.
You seem uncomfortable.
I'm going to make Tori cry by the end of this one if I can. It's like my goal. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah. You can cry.
I'll just get Jenny here to give you a hug. You can both cry. Okay.
I can make it happen too.
Now, what do I mean by outside influences, though?
Your
Your
peers.
mentors.
Mentors. Who else might be a really good perspective?
Peers.
Peers, family.
Strangers you
Tell
met on
them
the
to be
internet?
quiet out there, then, please.
Strangers who got in your car that rode 10 hours up from the internet.
Strangers that ride 10 hours with you in the car. What if it comes to you when you're meditating or quiet and not through a person? What's that like? Anybody ever have that
Oh,
happen?
that's so deep and introspective. And
Every day.
Every day. So here we were in the Holler Homestead, moving forward, learning how to do better soil, compost, growing better quality plants, expanding the meat production, having events like this. And I'm busy out there trying to figure out how to get back into facilitation, which is one of my gifts, at the corporate level to bring in a little more income for that. There was a point where I ran a newspaper that highlighted local attractions. What else was I doing? Self-Reliance Festival, 3 hours from here, which requires me to move away from my house for at least a week to get it done. What else was I doing? Roasting coffee,
Too many things.
speaking engagements.
speaking engagements,
Podcast.
Choir.
getting really interested in spinning wool,
Choir.
choir,
That pool. Yeah.
the swim spa,
Greenhouse.
webinars.
Sheep. Painting the roasted sheep.
Okay, so how much of that is driving me towards what you guys would think was my purpose?
Roasting coffee.
20%.
Singing. You love singing.
20%.
20%. And then I started spending more time in prayer by myself, stopping doing some things. And it was about this time last year that I realized we had all the pieces for what I should be doing already in place here. And I didn't believe it until he sat me down and said, quiet and in prayer. And I was told to tell you to stop dicking around, basically.
Who told you that?
Tactical.
Good for you, bro.
I thought he was going to tell me, I'm out of here. I'm working too hard. I'm done, Nicole. And he was like, you need to stop dicking around and start doing what's obviously been in front of your face the whole time you're here. And I will tell you guys, the day I moved to the Holler was the day we started talking about doing a Liberty Riders Gulag here. And Liberty Riders Gulag would bring people in who want to do art, writing, creative things. They stay on site. We have salon discussions around the fire. We show them how to raise plants or preserve food and have that link to nature. And they can stay here, 2 weeks, 2 months. And at the end of it, hopefully they've produced something. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing now?
That's what we're doing.
Except for it's a prepper fest.
It's lens is the word, the world of homesteading and prep, but that's not its
Right.
goal.
So that's what I wanted to do. And instead of doing that, I worked in libertarian public policy. I did, we were not even going to talk about all the list of things that I did. And every one of those steps of things I did taught me a skill that is needed here or brought a person into this universe that needs to be here. And last year it came clear that what we want to do is admit that this place brings people together. There is somebody in this room who was supposed to meet somebody else here who has done that. And I know who it is. And I'm not going to say who you are. You don't know who you are necessarily. You don't know you've just met the person that you need to meet. And in the next 6 months, you're going to call that person because you need their help. Okay? We see that happen. We've watched this happen year after year after year for over a decade. And sometimes it's that somebody needs to meet somebody to go start a business. Sometimes it's that somebody needs to meet somebody they need to talk to through a hard time. That happened virtually for you. Sometimes it's that somebody had to get here and get quiet enough to get away from the rat race, to realize their passion is not, in fact, libertarian public policy. I'll use me as an example. And that I just really like feeding people and connecting people. And you may have noticed that this week. But it's that opportunity to get away and develop strong relationships. So when I've been talking about the Holler Hub and expanding here, you guys have heard me talk about it. People keep asking me, what is that? What is that? What is that? Today, you're going to help me figure out what that is. You're here, you're doing it. What is this? So the first question is, what is this? Who can write on a board, by the way, legibly? Sue, my right arm is not great at dry erase. Kindly scribe, let's do black color. When you come here, what did you expect, and how is it different? Like, what are you seeing here?
You said prepper, and I kind of, from having heard about it, maybe expected that, but I felt I learned way more life skills.
Yeah,
Learning.
life skills.
Yeah.
Beyond the friendships, I would say networking.
Networking. Yeah.
1,000 business questions.
1,000 business questions. We end up being a business incubator here a lot, but we also end up being a person incubator.
Yeah.
And not on a large scale. It's smaller.
I got to recharge.
A serene environment.
Serene environment, recharge. And?
A lot of maybe unexpected technical information that gives me something to do when I go home.
This is important. Unexpected technical information. I do not choose speakers based on the biggest YouTube channel. I don't care. What I care about is, can you teach? That's, like Alan is. I couldn't believe it when I saw you teach for the first time. I was like, whoa, a really good teacher. It's not just, but I would have never known he existed had Paul Wheaton not said, you got to meet this guy. And I was like, well, let's try him out. Let's see what he can teach. And the reason that he fits here so well is he's linking thing to thing to thing to thing. So it's an integration thing as well. We've forgotten how to integrate basic life skills with nature, with family, and with true community, because we have let the program system pull us apart from each other. How do we undo that? Doing this in person or online?
In person.
Both.
Both.
Both. While we have it, we might as well use online to amplify. People see this discussion online, and they are right now, because Rebecca came to us magically, and they want to be part of it. Right? So what we're doing here is focusing on getting more nutrient-dense food. We've got work to do there. I don't know what I don't know. Like, we're just starting that further. Like, I've always been growing in a not very focused manner, but as organically as I can. Listening to Jack Spirko's podcast taught me how to really link to the soil. Getting to know Alan Booker taught us how to cultivate the soil better. Going out to see how Joel Salatin rotates animals was very helpful. All of these people that are doing these things and seeing it in person has been super important. Why do I want nutrient-dense food?
Health, so you don't die.
So that when you're here eating the food, like, we have probably more commercial food this year than usual. We look to sort, like, every egg we ate was grown here or by somebody who's here. Raise your hand if you provided eggs. Yeah, see? Like 5 people. We had meat from Off the Grid Meat Company. We had meat that was produced here. And because my chicken producer was not ready, we had organic chicken from the store, because that was the best I could do. When people get away from standard food and onto lettuce that we've grown. Basic ingredients that we put. That's why I make all the salad dressings, because then it's not whatever's in the bottle. They start to feel better. Does anybody feel better after eating the food here? Yeah. Did anybody feel worse? It happens. Sometimes, okay. I mean, so that's one thing. The other thing is creating spaces for people to come in as what I call transient visitors. So Opalin's a transient visitor. She comes in, she stays for a little while, she goes on and does something else. But then the bigger thing is if we're going to produce more food and have a tighter community, and as we look into homesteading, it's really great to have people nearby who can share the responsibility. We realized we want to expand the land and have owner stewards. Expand the land. Mm-hmm. So what would that look like to you? Now that you've heard me say this, Holler Hub has a lodge. We are in the lodge right now. Would I like a different lodge that was all natural building and bigger with bigger classrooms with more natural light during the day so you don't get really sleepy in the basement? Oh, I know who can design that. The temperature would, that's why we're not outside in a shed. We would have died. Anymore. We were at one time. As I said, all the pieces were here to start the project or the vision that came. It was just not, like when I saw it, it was the natural building. And we started really focusing on trying to get that done. And I was like, wait a minute. We already have the building. And if we're successful, it will build the other building, right? So how would you want to see something like that organized? If you were who wants to participate in something like this when you start hearing about it? Right? What's your role in it?
My role is to help promote it for you because I'm not going to live here.
Right. Truth.
But I can.
What?
But I can promote it for you.
What's your role in it, Alan?
I would say two things. One is from the Institute side, we can provide a lot of just the technical foundations to make it happen. And then a lot of people haven't heard of what we're doing on the Anamythos side, which is a lot of the community side of things. And so we're doing a lot of work there as well on community and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
The idea came, I'm talking to Alan, he's like, so we're doing this Anamythos thing. I was like, I don't have to build that if they build that. I can participate in that community and we can set up that. Okay, who else wants to be involved and is willing to tell me what they'd see their role as? Valerie?
Mine right now is just here presence, physical presence of labor, whatever support that I can give physically.
Where would you see that going long term?
I mean, I would like to be here more. I would like to be closer versus just doing it once a day. I mean, I would want to be integrally involved more.
Tenant or owner?
I would want to be owner.
What does owner look like to you?
I mean, it would be probably being owner in a special, a specific space. So maybe a huge plot of land that I own an acre of it. And that's my acre that I can come and I can cultivate and I can grow and do the things that I want to do that I'm really interested in, and also still pouring into everything that you're doing too.
So an owner steward then, somebody who has a place where they live that they control. What if you wanted to leave and sell your land?
I would say it would have
That's
to, I mean,
call.
I would,
How
yeah.
do you structure that?
What did you say?
To go back in the community. I mean, that's what you would.
Okay, if she wants to do that, how does that go back into the community? I'm opening this up to everybody. How would that look like? Jack?
First right of refusal.
First right of refusal.
Everybody involved has an opportunity to make the purchase, including you, before it goes on the open market.
And then if we have an organization over part of it, the organization has to have enough money to be able to do that. Will, what would you add?
I think what you're starting to say, the organization should be able to, I would want the organization to be able to purchase that if necessary, if no individual buyer. So it stays in the family.
Which means you needed the reserve. Well, how would we make money? Products from the land, okay.
The reserve fund is a way to make money. If you have a reserve fund, you can select the person you want to bring in. You can give them favorable financing terms. The reserve fund becomes basically a small mutual fund for the community.
Can be invested.
Will, what's your role in this?
Oh,
Sorry.
That was your alarm.
That's for yesterday, sorry.
Yeah. What would you see your role as if you were going to be involved?
I would make myself available for whatever I could be useful for, from investment to consulting. To
Well, how do you make
labor.
money? If you're willing to share with us, you don't have to.
Real estate.
Really? Real estate? Interesting.
Shocking.
And have you leveraged one property into another property
Yes.
and created cash flow?
Yes.
Have you set up systems to take care of it that don't always involve you?
Yes.
Uh-huh. I don't know if we could use any advice on that.
We're creating an advisory board right now.
It's like POA that's used for good instead of evil.
Yeah.
Because one of the things is like, HOAs have been used to set up patterns of poor habitation of place. But you can use a POA, a property owners association, to specify that owner stewards will not use aggressive poisons on the land, and so on and so forth. We'll use ecological cultivation and so forth. And that way you can protect the fact that you don't have a neighbor that moves in and starts spraying glyphosate every which way, So that could be an important dimension to, how should I put this? HOAs attract a particular way they're structured. They attract a certain
personality type.
If you structure your POA properly, you'll attract a certain different personality type.
Hopefully it's structured the right way.
Right.
It doesn't bad.
Does anybody hear this who lives somewhere, who kind of wants to get somewhere else from time to time, who would want to own, but then rent when they weren't here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I start seeing a weird timeshare opportunity there. There's a lot of people interested in being able to come. A lot of them want access to their space this specific weekend. I don't know why. But they're also interested in income development. If we can add a tourist element to this, that's not damaging to the place.
Make it Airbnb.
That's another revenue source, right? You come here, we're using all natural cleaners. It's a microbially healthy environment. We've got breathable buildings. We have all natural hemp-based mattresses and things like whatever it is. The most comfortable mattress I slept on in the last 5 years was a hemp mattress, which is why that came up. And that was over at River Nemani's down in Old Fort, Tennessee. I was like, wow, I want one of those.
Make it an Airbnb destination type place for people to say, oh, I'd like to know what's more about that. Have more access to the event from outside folks, but not necessarily from our community.
Is there space for a lower level of involvement rather than healing? That was the other layer that came. All of a sudden, all these healers have shown. Who's a healer in this room? Raise your hand. I see some hands not up that probably should be. Looking at me?
Yes, sir, I qualify, but
When you started, you said something that made me think you were talking about a writer's retreat.
That's how the idea started.
So, okay, so that it would be a lower level. That's in do your thing and leave. That is a lower level of participation.
What if you wanted to live nearby and just be able to buy food from local high quality places and it was organized here?
So it's a co-op plug.
Mm-hmm. What if you wanted to help get it off the ground by buying a membership that gave you discounts on lodging or a certain number of events? What would you want? What would you want? Those are my ideas, but what other things would a membership possibly add?
Shipping good food.
We could ship food. He just wants the food.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What about internships?
What about internships?
Yeah, education.
Have a Joe
An
Savage.
element of this is reconnecting people with lost skills and newly developing skills. The funny thing with the cutting edge of permaculture to me is I feel like we're just rediscovering stuff we already knew.
Grandma called it Tuesday.
Right. It's sometimes it's like, wow, that's a really innovative new thing, and we have tools we can look at that and understand why, but then they did that hundreds of years ago somewhere.
Oh.
Right.
I'm thinking of people who want to do events of their own and utilize your experience and the folks here. And if you get the lodge built up and they can rent the space.
I would like to be
Weddings.
involved in that.
Weddings, festivals of their own, their
Did you know you could already rent this space? It's just a little rough under here when you finish painting. Yeah.
Practical skills training. So in other words, you're actually doing it, shearing sheep or, whatever it may be.
Like helping us move the sheep to learn how fun it is to move sheep.
Whatever, just a course, just kind of like Jack's course.
Like making bacon, for example.
Practical doing it.
How's your bacon doing?
Baking bread, whatever it is.
It's still in my fridge.
It's not dead yet. Have you flipped it at all?
Yes, after we talked.
Okay, good. Yeah.
It sounds like to me you want to build an eco village and have a slate of revolving people come in and do programs and bring healer, like do a healing week and do a artist week and do a writers week and that's what it sounds. Then people could invest in it by building a cabin or investing in a cabin, and they could have the choice of when they want to come, but you could rent it out to other people who come to the other things.
The truth is I have a pretty clear vision. And part of that vision is that the community is involved in creating it. That's what we're talking about right now.
Can I tell you what I really want?
Well, you really would, yeah. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want, what you really want.
I couldn't contain myself. No.
Yeah.
I really, I love what you're doing, Alan. And I really would love to see more of that build out as a healing place. I want to know more about that and I want to be involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of clients that really need to be taken out of their homes. Mm-hmm. And they need to be in a space for a week or two and taught how to cook,
mm-hmm.
And what it looks like, what it feels like
mm-hmm.
to be away from the world and also to have good food and stuff like that. So,
and how to make it happen.
Yes.
Because he works on a kitchen project, so exciting that when it launches,
I just
stoked about that. But yet hands-on, this is going to seem really basic to a lot of you. This is how you cut an onion, right?
Life skills.
It's okay if you don't know how to do that, because we'll teach you how to do that. And I won't even judge you for not knowing how to do that, even though it kind of sounded like I was being mocking. But
yeah, today. And I'll help with any skills.
In the kitchen, there was a lesson on onion cutting.
I'm sure.
For the people who are.
Yeah, so we're employing people in the kitchen for this event, one of whom is she's young, first time in the kitchen here, but she's also somebody who, when she was 9 years old, came over here. And I was processing 125 pounds of tomatoes, and we needed to peel them, and we were scalding and then cold water. And she basically elbowed me out of the way and did peeled 125 pounds of tomatoes. So I had forgotten that had happened, and she started cutting the carrots for the butter carrots. And the feedback I got, and I know you're probably listening to this right now because they're streaming this. The feedback I got was she nailed it on the carrots and just would not give up till it was done. I'm like, that tracks. I remember those tomatoes. you know, and there were, you know, so there are things, you know, how do you cut a carrot? If you're going to cook carrots for a lot of people, you want to have the pieces about the same size so they all cook at the same time. So you don't have like really weird squishy ones and undercooked ones. They're having those conversations with her and themselves in the kitchen right now. So what's going on there is more learning on how to connect, you know, that part of life. But the cool thing about that is we're talking about, this is a kid who, if you ask her to go start the fire to heat the house, she's like, she knows how to cut the kindling already. She knows how to start the fire. She understands how to keep it going, to keep the heat going, because she's lived off grid before. But we have people coming in who they want this. They want to feel good again, and they have no idea where to start. And it's hard to even envision life without, like, I like to take people off grains if I can for a while. It's like, what's like, but you go through a physiological.
We got 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how about under 50? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the trends now?
Yeah.
This is the reason that I asked Oakland to help us teach SRF youth
Yeah.
last fall. I was like, let's do an experiment, right? If we offer SRF youth, could we get some kids? It's like, because I'm seeing the skill gap. The under 30s, the percentage of them that can like do any practical skills. And the whole thing is it's profoundly disempowering for them. At a subconscious level, they have this internalized thing. They can't do any real thing for themselves. And it's like got layers of, you know. So there's something very important about that dynamic, right? That those of us who are Gen X and older came up a certain way. And if we just leave it and we're not engaging the under 35 crowd right now, there's something pretty, what's going to happen in another couple decades.
So when this was happening over the summer and we realized this could be a lodge, I started doing a class a month, and I advertised a canning class.
Mm-hmm.
And people I knew signed up, and a couple of people I knew didn't know signed up. And one woman came in with her husband, who was in their 20s. The way she found it is she Googled canning classes, and it's exactly that. She wants to learn sourdough bread, canning, all of these things, because she feels like she was not prepared to learn how to cook. So I think I think it's important that what we do here is open and purposely oriented towards bringing more younger people in. Dawn, this is near and dear to your heart. She does a kids farmers market that's all kids only, all kids vendors.
Nice. That's cool.
And how popular was that?
Oh, it was packed.
She just about died probably coordinating. I have this idea. I'll do a farmers market for kids.
So it was great though.
Yeah, I mean, back when we had Game of Thrones going on, we did a thing called Winter is Coming for a bunch of college students.
Yeah, perfect.
Right, and we got out and did all kinds of crazy fun stuff. And it's like, that in the door and asking questions.
Yeah. So sometimes it's hard to find. Go ahead.
On Alan's thing, I completely agree. I feel like we're aging out.
Yeah. We are aging out.
So, but here's my question. Let's do a hand thing. I'm going to turn around so I can see everybody. Who here, when you were under 30, would have had $600 to spend on something like this? Couple people. Keep your hands up. Put your hands down if you would not have had the time.
Oh, probably.
Who here would have had the time but not the money? We need to figure that out because we also have to make money. Right?
So this goes to internship and scholarship. I think that's a good idea. I was on a call, and I won't say what it was about, but they asked what would be a good monthly subscription, and my first thought was $50 a month for the service because it's a really valuable service. And I could see people physically wince about it being too high because they're like, but then we don't reach the kids who can't afford it. And I thought, well, what if and it's a service you would like, by the way, Margot. I think you would be willing to spend $50 a month, which is saying something. She's the one with the frugality tips all the time on my podcast, right?
Maybe we need to get.
But if you had those of us who know the value willing to pay $50 a month, which enables scholarships that have some way for giving that out. You can bring it, like if we had 2 scholarships for every workshop.
I like that idea.
And there's an application process, so it's not just hey, I'm giving it away for free, and they no show.
An application and an age restriction on it. Like
Yeah.
if that's the problem we're trying to solve. Like
Yeah.
scholarships are always trying to solve the problem. You
Yeah.
need to find the problem you're trying to solve.
Yeah.
Maybe you can, this might not sound like the right word, but find corporate sponsorships, people, companies who live in a self-reliant community with their products and services.
If you're going to get a PhD in Germany, you are going to have a corporate sponsor. You are going to be working your job while pursuing your PhD in an engineering field. And you're paid for by that.
Mhm.
That's an interesting concept.
Let me ask a question following on with Jack's. Who here would be willing to sponsor personally, or your family sponsor somebody in their teens or 20s to come be part of this community for an event? Anybody?
Wow.
I was
Okay.
gonna chime on that. Similar, if everybody that when you go to buy your ticket, an extra $25 to go towards.
That's a
National
great idea.
conference, 'cause I am part of an international political conference, and like the average age is like 65, because that's, you know, that's who are like international people who run like presidential campaigns in Germany or whatever are not 20. You know?
Right. What's the
But we want
market?
them to learn. Like we're all just like we're talking to each other. Like no one's like we're all like kind of done learning, you know, a little bit, right? But that's how we do it. Is
So to buy a ticket and you can
have the option of paying an extra 100 or whatever.
And so farm dinners too. So you could do fundraising.
Yeah, so we did a farm to
table.
table dinner that was truly farm to table. And it took a lot more work than I realized going in, but I'm glad I learned that on a small scale. The ticket price was $125. There was no alcohol. That was just the food, and it should have been probably $180 if we're honest.
How do you handle the messaging?
So how do you get somebody who can't afford the farm to table?
Between messaging, because I know people that pay the extra for those things.
Yeah.
Like in Cookville.
Right.
And so I think it's a messaging. How do you get the message out to?
Yeah, what's the right message?
Like
If it's a-
Well, I also think the message should include what you're planning on maybe serving.
Yeah.
So I know it was
So-
thrown together.
No, nope. The problem with the farm to table dinner, if you're harvesting it and cooking it, is I don't know.
Like suggestions, like it
could be like this.
goose or chicken from a farm down the street, or you know.
Yeah, we just knew we were gonna have lamb.
I also think, I'm sorry, I think it's messaging through the year too about what you're growing here.
Yeah.
Or what you're doing here. And then people are like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on? Oh, they're having a meal. I want to go check it out.
Oh, there's
And
a
so
wild
you're
edible foraging
building-
walk in
like
before
you're
we do
building
it, and
up
that's folded in.
The
yeah.
momentum going into that.
And I will say also more time on marketing. That's why I had to pull back this year so far, is because I have to have time to say the things in advance.
100%, it should have cost more per ticket.
Yeah.
And if it's a fundraiser, you don't have to worry about the young age. Just get trying to get the young people in.
Sorry. Donation-based clinics.
April wants
so
to
like
go.
a donation, like I do donation-based clinics,
Mhm.
and so you could do a donation type thing to bring people in for healing, just to kind of get the word out, stuff like that.
That's a donation.
I would give time.
Noted. April was before you because she's had her hand up for 37 minutes.
I wasn't taking it personally.
Thanks. Oh, sorry.
I see that where money goes, the focus goes, especially in kids. And so I think it's important that they not get a free ride at all, because if they're not resourceful enough to get at least $15 together to do something like this and pay part of their tuition, then I don't know how much they're going to put that information to use. Are they really going to take it seriously if they're given totally a free ride and it's just something they do for a weekend? That's my thought on that. And then the other thing is like canning, your canning class. If you teach somebody to can pickles, you can sell home canned pickles for $10 a jar. Sell 5 jars of pickles. They've made the $50. So I look at it as marketing it as an investment in themselves and an opportunity for them to make money. And it's their first lesson in, I need to buy information so that I can make money, and I can make this much more money if I learn these canning procedures. And you can attach businesses, small businesses, to pay for every single thing you can teach on the farmstead. So I really think that if people aren't investing in themselves, then what is the use of teaching them for free? What's the use of sponsoring them for giving them a free ticket? I think, sponsor the people who are really going to go out there and do something with it and really love it and come back to the community and give and participate. So that's my nickel.
You were next, and then I'll get to the back of the room. We are officially over time, so if you really want to leave because you're mad or to go have a beverage,
Nicole, I think
I'll release you.
the whole start of this goal is bringing people here.
Oh, it was Jonathan. I thought you had it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ben.
That was you?
I did.
It was this sector. I'm sorry.
Bringing people here, having people feel comfortable being here. Like with me, I camp. I brought a tent. I don't mind if it storms. I'm ready for that. But with the social media and the awkwardness of, well, I've never slept in a tent. I've never done this. And on the way back from the holler to the buildings, and I'm walking by myself, I'm like, I can look to my left. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if you got a dozer in here and you put 12 tiny homes from 12 tiny sheds, and they're all named nothing great. Because you don't want to make it too comfortable, because you want people to come out and enjoy the property and
as long as I came from my house.
Because I do hip camps, right?
Yeah, they can't see.
Because I do the hip camps, and I can see that value. And the second one is when you're doing the canning from last night, yesterday, the sauerkraut and all that stuff. Yeah. If you were to teach a class and you make extra, so like I can take some home with me, so I can share with my family. And then, but that can of dilly beans or whatever is $20, way more than it costs, but it's a donation. And then I have that story to take home with me, and I have a physical product that you get revenue for, that I can share that experience.
Okay.
If you want to bridge a gap on young people, why not maybe come up with some type of agenda to teach at a college, local community colleges, where it's this kind of stuff we're doing, and they're like, holy cow! Instead of taking study class, I can take a class on how to ferment food, or how to do the stuff that we're doing around.
I thought Sandor did a great job of making fermented food not scary. I've got Jack and then Margo.
So what she said, like them putting skin in the game, basically she's saying for the youth scholarships. My issue with that is it's just money, like $15, $50, whatever. My grandson came in to me and said, Papa Jack, I want to go do this thing. Can I have $50 to go do the thing? And it was something I thought was cool, I would just give him $50. So he's put no skin in the game. So you talk about an application process for the scholarship. So the application of a scholarship is generally, here's who I am, I write an essay, blah, 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 blah. How about there's a point in there that they have to do something in their community, and because this is how I look at charity. I'm investing my money. Mm-hmm. I don't look like I'm giving my money, I'm investing my money. I want to put my money to a place that can do more good than I could do with it on my own. Just like when I invest my money with an investment advisor, I want somebody that can get a higher return than I can get. So when you're picking somebody for a scholarship, it should because they made you feel a certain way. You look and you see potential in the individual, and you invest in that potential because you're planting a seed. Mm-hmm. So that's how you manage that piece of skin in the game.
Or bring them here to do work trade for a day.
Because teenagers just ask for money from relatives and get money.
Margo?
Well, literally the first part of what Jack said was what I was going to say.
Check. Sean and then Lonnie.
Mm-hmm. At the core of this, you would probably want a 501 or a 503C.
Ouch!
Okay,
go ahead.
If you do the Anamithos Fellowship, you'll be nonprofit.
Yeah.
Without having to do all that.
I might still have an active nonprofit right now. I'll still look. Well, we can re-up it. Yeah. A lawyer made a mistake in the paperwork closing it, and I think it might still be open, but not in Tennessee. But that's okay. That's at the federal level. It's just a side. So how do we wrap this up?
What does winning look like?
Right. Okay, what does winning look like on something like this? And we can continue conversations after. I just want to cut you guys loose.
Make a list of people who are interested in helping do this. Get names and contacts.
Continue on a Zoom call.
Okay, who in this room is not interested? So I would like to email you all afterwards to continue this conversation going. We're going to write this up. Where we're seated right now is I don't have the land to buy, but we are looking at 3 properties around here right now. I'm only going by feeling on this part. I sense that property that we find will be close to where we are now. I could be wrong about that. The perfect piece of land could come up 15 miles from here and it may change everything, right? So I'm open to that. But as we've looked around here and what we already have in place, the surrounding properties are of most interest. One piece of property is currently on the market. The other 2 are not, but I'm really well connected with the owners. And when I was talking to Alan about that, because I was like, I think this one's probably the best one, he said, what you do is get a really good topographic map of the whole area and we can look at it. So I think that would be useful, but until the owners sell, there is no land, right? But when that moment happens, it's a fast deploy. So.
But what about leasing? You can do like a 10-year, 20-year lease and not have to worry about buying.
Or maybe they're willing to lease instead of having to sell, but they're getting
How
some
many
money out of
acres
it.
are you looking for?
Huh?
How many acres are you looking for?
As many as it takes to get it done. So the pieces I'm looking at are around 100. But also look at what we're able to accomplish with 4.5 acres right now. What do you think?
Yeah.
This is only 4.5 acres, and we're not even. You guys haven't seen all the land we have.
Yeah.
You're doing more with less here.
So if we can model with this well, when the opportunity comes up, I'm confident we can scale. If we can't do it well here, then it doesn't matter if we have 400 acres or 20 acres. It's a cluster. We don't want a cluster, right? So, I mean, that's my opinion on that.
Well, if you had 400 acres, it would open up what you could do in terms of.
Honestly, if I had 400 acres by myself right now,
Be too much.
it would be too much, and I would not manage it well unless the right, like, that's what I know, because I know what it takes to manage this.
I mean, this is 400 acres, and I don't mean in land. I mean, that's too much to manage. This has to be phased. This has to be broken into bites. This has to be done, and you find a piece, you implement, you execute it, and then you do the next piece. And if you don't do that, this is a dream.
Correct.
It's a spiral staircase.
Right, no, we can't do all of that tomorrow. So what if, what might be good?
Pick your top 3 things.
No. Close. I want to wrap up and keep you guys in the loop. I have a red pen. I have 2 red pens. Sweet. I'm going to make Sue wince here. We're going to use the red pen, Sue. Could you write your name on the board with this, please?
No. We don't write.
We did, it's okay.
Do I need to go do some?
No.
It's not.
No, not right now. We're not going to do it. I'm not going to troll Sue that hard. What I'd like you to do on your way out is you have 3 red dots, each of you. Put your red dot by the 3 things you think would be the lowest hanging fruit for getting started. Out of what we started discussing there, things we want to communicate about or just something that captures your interest. And if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. But it'll be interesting to see where the dots land. And if you want to do pink dots, there's some pink pens too. So do not use the black pen for that. I will be very confused if you do. So that wraps up the teaching program at this point. We are happy to tour you around things. I did a human manure tour today, and some of you all helped me cap off the one that was full, so thanks for that. Did the one that was full smell?
No.
No. Did the one that wasn't full smell?
Yes.
Yes. That's because there's not enough carbon in the ratio right now, but we'll fix that after the event. But yeah, that's where I want to add a little more carbon. So, so we have the composting system that's set up. We've got the humanure with the orchard. We can walk you through the orchard. Kerry has been more in charge of that recently. He's been working on anti-erosion techniques, and he can talk about those things, right? We can show you how to get shocked by a fence if you want. But don't if you are interested in getting sheep, he's so many different brands of different just woven wire fencing things that it's worth just here. He can show you the shitty posts and the good posts and why. He can show you different things about different brands of reels, even though, have you thrown all the way away all the bad ones yet?
No, I've got a pile of broken posts.
So we're going to keep the pile of woe for a reason, because that's a teaching thing too. When you get into these things, it does matter. Like with the clothes earlier, it matters which brand. It matters about the design, for not just for durability, but for ease of use. Mm-hmm. So, and every minute you lose messing around with a reel that's crappy is a minute you'll never get back, right? So anyway, that's where we're going from here. Please give me your red dots, and then we'll have a follow-up email after this.
And I sent everyone just really roughly notes already, and it's in your, if you can't see the board, it's in your program right now. I just texted that to you guys all.
Yeah. And we will be sending a survey out later today.
Oh, yeah, there's a survey.
Just about it. I want to assess some things for next year about what y'all want. So dinner is next. There's German night.
If anybody's curious about Shopify store or website, it's Jenny's, it's AJ's, Simmerwell,
That was me. Yeah, right. Your coffee. Okay, your coffee's in the roasting shack. Okay.